people have to learn things, that you have to hear things many different ways before it really sinks in, and eventually it clicks. So it helps to work with different teachers.
But I always think it's good, too, to take many different classes, and then you put it all together and you come up with your own method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of works out that way.
Uh-huh. So then eventually, you know, there's nothing wrong with that as long as it works.
Yeah.
You can change the rules if you want to.
Yeah, well, you know, as long as I don't offend the cats. They're always keeping a pretty close eye on me. So when you do your
classes now, how long is the class?
We're just doing little introductory classes that last about 6 hours.
Okay.
So we just do some guided meditation and some very basic energy work, since the telepathic communication is based on energy. So I'd like to demonstrate to people that they can feel energy.
Uh-huh. And a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah, but it makes it more tangible if they realize that, oh, yes, this is real, I can feel it.
Uh-huh. But would this be the same thing as telecommunication with humans?
You know, I haven't really, I haven't experimented much with human telepathic work, just because the humans are so much more complicated than animals. The animals are so straightforward.
Too.
Yeah, and the animals are great to work with. They have just an incredible sense of humor. And
I was thinking an animal would be much more basic. You know, not basic. That's not the word I mean. It doesn't have all these guards and these things that people put up. It's very straightforward.
That's true. That's usually true. You find some neurotic animals, which is a lot of the work that I do, is helping sort through what's bothering them. But unlike people, once they can verbalize what the problem is, they let go of it much more easily.
Uh-huh.
So it's like being able to do 10 years of talk therapy with a human. With an animal, you can do it in 5 minutes.
Oh, because the human is more complicated.
Yeah, and we humans seem to hold on to our traumas more.
Uh-huh. So the animals can let it go easier, you mean?
Yeah, they seem to be able to move on much better than we are.
Would you work with any large animals, or is it just the dogs and cats and things like that?
I'm doing more work with horses now. I have a wonderful mentor in spirit. And I think her human mom, is probably listening in tonight. A horse who is in spirit. She's no longer here in the physical form, but her name is Nu, as in GNU, the Great GNU.
Oh,
and Nu has adopted me, and she's teaching me things about horses. So she's like a spirit guide for me.
Well, do you think the larger animals are more complex than the smaller ones?
You know, I don't really feel that there's that much difference from species to species.
Oh, okay.
It's more from individual to individual. And I have found profound cats and very profound dogs, too.
Yeah.
And then some are just very simple and say, no, I just want to be a dog and chase a ball and eat my food. And
enjoy life.
Yeah, exactly. And it tends to be that the people who are more spiritually aware and people who are consciously working their spiritual paths tend to attract more spiritually aware animals. So you learn together.
You have more of a personality?
Yeah, if you want to say a higher consciousness.
Okay, because, you know, I've been around a lot of cats. Some of them just sit there and they be a cat, you know.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And other ones are very vivacious and they're all over the place. They got a lot more personality.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And,
so they're all individuals, too.
Yeah, very, very definitely. And I'm extremely fortunate right now that the cat who lives with me is quite a philosopher, and he is waiting more or less patiently for me to get off my butt and start writing a book with him. So he's been, when he can get me to sit down at the computer and actually get something done, and then he dictates information to me.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you mean by a philosopher? Does this just come into your mind when you're around him, this information, or what?
Yes, he's, it's like living with a spirit guide.
Oh, okay.
Having a spirit guide with you in flesh. And he tells me that in the past he has been a spirit guide for me, but now he's here incarnate.
Okay.
He can be quite a taskmaster. I was sitting back when I had my day job before I went full-time as an animal communicator. Someone had brought a bunch of chocolate candy into work, and I was sitting back at my desk just stuffing chocolate into my mouth, and my cat popped into my mind, and I heard him say, "You eat chocolate to resist your higher vibration."
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting there thinking, oh, great, I've just been busted by my own cat. So he keeps me in line.
Well, I'm just wondering, in my work, I know we have spirit guides and guardian angels, wherever you want to call them, and a lot of people can communicate with those. How can you tell it's the animal, the cat, rather than your own spirit guide? Or is there a difference?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dolores. The way it feels to me, the only way I can describe it to people, you know how it is when you have a dream and you meet someone in the dream, and this person doesn't look anything like anyone you know, but you know who it is. It's just the knowing of who is talking to you, and that's about the only way I can describe it.
That you know it's not your spirit guide?
Yeah, I feel his personality come through when he communicates to me.
Have you communicated with your spirit guide?
Yes, I do get communication from my guides.
So you can tell the difference then? Yeah.
They tell me I don't listen nearly enough, but I'm working on that.
Uh-huh. That's what I was wondering about, because most people would say, well, you're not communicating with the cat at all. It's just this spirit guide.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, though, because you sometimes get things from a very feline perspective.
Oh, a little different than the other one would be.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, since he is incarnate, he has a
There's another woman that I know, who I've met through my work, who does communicate with horses, and she has a ranch in Texas, and this is almost her full-time job, I guess you would say now, because she gets as many as I don't know how many calls during the day. It's usually from the ranchers.
Sure.
And they want to know about their horses, and they want, something's wrong with their horses, and she can communicate. She does a lot on the phone too.
Mm-hmm.
But she communicates with the horse, and the horse tells her what's the matter with it, so the owner can take it to the vet and tell it what's wrong.
That's right.
And he got like she said, sometimes one rancher will get on the phone. He wants her to do as many as 25 horses, one after the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little too much, she
said. Yes, you need to be careful, because this any kind of intuitive work is very taxing.
Yeah, she said that's too much, and she finally told him, I can't do that many at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess they want her to go through the whole herd.
Sure. No, they have to pick the ones that are most in need.
Yeah, and that's what she said, though. She can pick up on, the horse will tell her what's the matter with me, and then she can go and tell the owner, this is what's the matter, take him to the vet and have this and this checked out.
Yeah.
So, that's when I heard of you and her both. I said, well, there must be a lot more out there that can do this.
Yeah, actually, there seem to be quite a few more communicators going into business, if you want to put it that way. I like to call this my authentic vocation.
Okay.
It's too spiritual to just be called a business.
Yeah. But I think this is different than the horse whisperer, isn't it?
As far as I understand, the horse whisperer, he is working, Monty Roberts is working from the instinctive perspective and behavioral aspects of horses instead of telepathic. Now, personally, I think he's doing telepathic stuff, and maybe he doesn't pick up on it.
He doesn't realize it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as that movie came out, there was a lot of shows on TV with other people communicating with horses.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, and finding out, getting them to do, to train easier and, to understand what was their problems and everything.
And the horses are particularly sensitive because everything that humans do with them tends to go completely against their nature. That we keep them corralled singly, in little stalls where they want to be social, they want to be with one another, they want to be with the horses that they want to be with, not the ones that we put them next to. And
a horse is a herd animal anyway.
That's right.
They said it likes to be at least. Well, one person said that the horse was so unhappy and they didn't know what it was, and they were trying. I was telling him I want company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So even if they brought in a donkey, at least it was something.
That's it. I've heard of cases where a dog is so lonely that they've just gone out and bought a goldfish, and just having the goldfish there as company helped the dog.
Just something that they communicate
so he's
with.
Not totally alone all the time.
Yeah, we don't think of that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what I do is just helping people understand things from the animal's perspective. Things that are inconsequential to us might be very traumatic to one of our pets.
You mean something that happens?
Yeah, one of
the household or what?
Right. My favorite, if you want to put it as a detective case.
I wanted you to get into some of your cases.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was asked to speak to a dog who, as she got older, she was getting more and more, almost neurotic. She was very anxiety-ridden. And what was happening is she would have a panic attack anytime the cell phone would ring, or they said even if her family was watching a basketball game on television and the buzzer would sound, the poor dog would just freeze and start to quiver.
Uh-huh.
And they were trying to figure out why she was reacting to sound.
She didn't react to the voices or anything?
No, it was just certain
noise,
certain noises, and the noises that were meaningless to the humans, but it would upset the dog. And her veterinarian figured that it was something that had happened to her in her puppyhood.
Yeah.
He was sitting in on the consultation, as he had requested that I talk with these people. And I think he was curious how I work, so he wanted to sit in.
It'd be very valuable for a veterinarian to know.
Well, it was a valuable experience for me as well, because this man is a holistic vet and works a lot with acupuncture and the energy systems. Yeah. And he and I both felt the same thing from this dog.
Oh, okay.
That she was just kind of hunched up sometimes, and her people thought maybe she had pain in her hips. And to me, it felt like an anxiety attack, where as a human you just kind of grab your stomach and curl up in a ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how it felt with this dog, just kind of a clenching feeling in the belly. And the veterinarian, when I said that, he confirmed that she had blockages in, I'm not sure now, I think he said it was the kidney meridian, which would feel like a clenching in the gut. So we corroborated what each other had gotten, so that felt good.
Well, did he use acupuncture on the animal then?
Yes, he had been doing acupuncture with her to try to ease her anxiety attacks.
Uh-huh.
And then I think he was just kind of curious to see if I could come up with the reason